Research has shown that women's number one source of stress is actually money. Women spend a week plus each year worrying about money, and research also has it that women investors tend to achieve positive returns and outperform men by 40 basis points. Well, hello and welcome to Islamic Finance Weekly. I am Rahma Saeed Muhammad. On today's episode, we'll be discussing on women, finance, and home management. And joining me virtually today is Olaitan Suleiman, public relations and advertising analyst for Marble Capital Limited. Assalamu alaikum. Hello, Olaitan. Welcome on the show.
Walaikum salam, Rahma. Thanks for having me. It's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Well, let's delve right into our discussion of today. We're talking about finance, home management, and women. So let's start with home expenses. I mean, with the surge in prices of commodities, especially consumables in Nigeria of today, let's talk about expenses and what are your personal experiences.
Okay, thank you very much, Rahma. I think those three combinations are the things that gives you the headache the most. Expenses, the surge in prices of things, and then the household. And you being a woman, you are an expenses yourself. You should know that every woman is an expenses.
All right.
I mean, the surge in prices has different impacts on everybody. From our day-to-day activities to the kind of things we engage in, to hunting down on our guilty pleasures, to the most important things in our life. I would say, personally, my experience has not been so smooth, despite the fact that I work in a finance space. I see people, different ideas on how you can make it work. However, I think one general thing that we all have in common is the fact that we have to have a drastic change in lifestyle as regards the kind of things we do and how we do them. So far, for me, basically, I had to cut down on a lot of things. I had to think twice in my purchase. I have to be very thorough in my planning as well, so as to ensure that whatever I'm fitting into my budget is going to work for me. Most especially the fact that things that commodities are increasing, the price of things are going higher, but then the income is not going higher, right? So it's a bit of a difficult thing to juggle, but at least, like I said, we all have to be very, very thorough in our planning, and the impact is relatively the same to everyone, right?
Thank you, Lighton. I like the part where you said, expenses are going higher, but then the income is not going higher. So now you have to
Yeah.
balance your expenses and what you're earning so you don't live above your earnings. Okay, right. Now let's talk about challenges navigating work and home, especially this during this month of Ramadan. What are those challenges? I mean, women are the makers of home. Now you have to balance treating your home, handling your home, and then handling work. So let's talk about that.
I think that question is something that has been on every woman's mind, probably one of your biggest headaches before Ramadan, how you're going to balance out your activities as well as keep to yourself, keep to the deen, and as well satisfy yourself, right? And give your own that private time. And I think we all need to take a step back. I think what I do personally before Ramadan is take a step back, look at my curriculum, look at my activities schedule, and see how I'm going to fit those things in and give each other and give those things time in, right? And I have to be so thorough and very, very, very apprehensive about the kind of activities that I do that are not in my calendar, and I have to be very disciplined about how I do those things. You have to look at, okay, how do I balance work? Probably you are an 8 to 5 kind of person. You go to work at 8 a.m. in the morning, you come back at 5 p.m. You have to attend to your children, you have to prepare iftar, you also have to pray, you also have to have that time to yourself to sit back and relax so that you're going to be well prepared for the following morning, right? So all those things are things that you need to tailor. I think we need to understand that we cannot all, there's not a one size fits all for the kind of activities that we can engage in when it comes to Ramadan and how to take care of our household. You have to look at the unique style of your family. Okay, maybe I'm the kind of person that I grew up in a family where everybody comes back home by 5 p.m. and by that 5 p.m., food is ready by 6 p.m. Everybody must be in the sitting room, by 6:37 so that you can have solar together, you break your fast together. I mean, doing all those things sort of brings your family together. It creates this unspoken bond between
Right.
you. Within those times, you also have time to interact with your family. You also have time to learn about their activities, make them comfortable enough to speak to you about those things. And at the same time, you have enough time for you to rest and relax and plan the following day, right? So you
Right.
have to just learn to be disciplined in your style and find out a unique style that fits your family's lifestyle.
Thank you very much for that. For me personally, I think a perfect work-life balance for a woman is a myth because you just, there's no that perfect balance, but you just have to find like, a meeting point, like, where okay, this is where I have to go for the family and this is where I have to be for work. So honestly, it's always a challenge for a woman, and we must, commend the women for that. Let's
And
talk.
add to that, Rahma, like what you just said really sparked something in me. We need to understand as women, we need to understand our worth and value, right? If you are in a work environment that does not um, complement your lifestyle as a woman, that does not accommodate your needs, then you need to think twice, right? Because if you
Right.
are working as a Muslim woman and you're working in an environment where it does not really complement your lifestyle and does not work for you and your family, you are going to fail at both.
Right. True.
You cannot, it's not you can't compromise. So
Right.
if you are not working, if one is not working out and you're trying to make it out work out for the other, you are going to be stuck in between and confused and probably fail at both. So you really, really look at your career choice, your family lifestyle, and make your decision on that. And I think that is very, very important for people to always consider when you are seeking for jobs, whether you're seeking for an 8 to 5 job. If you know an 8 to 5 job cannot work for you, then probably hold a business or you're working at hybrid a workspace. So you just have to figure out all this career-wise as well as planning your family. And I think if both goes in sync, you're going to have a very, very healthy lifestyle.
That's fantastic. So, having all these into cognizance, thinking about all that work-life balance, thinking about, does this work actually work for me? Is this something I want to do, or is it business I want to do? Now let's talk about, how do you keep the family together? I mean, by maintaining interactions despite work burden. I mean, you're in an 8 to 5 environment. You love this work; it's your passion. But then there's your family. But then you have to keep the family together. You have to maintain interactions and all of that. How do you maintain that balance?
Okay, like I said, there's not a one, like I said earlier, there's not a one size fits all for everybody. But you have to, I'll probably use my family as a study right now.
Right.
I'm not a married woman, but I do have family, I do have relatives, and I do have sisters and brothers that I am committed to. And I do have godchildren, right? That they would look
Right.
up to you and you want to keep in touch with all those people. At the same time, work, like I said, maintain a healthy work lifestyle. But then you need to understand that the first thing you need to do is figure out how your schedule works, how the schedule of your relative works. Okay, probably if I'm paid up by 6 a.m., they are all my children or my friends or my family will probably be up by 7 a.m., right? Between those timelines, you have to figure out a communication line. That is first. And as a married woman, I would say it is very, very, very important to establish that morning routine with your children, right?
Mm.
So that you put them in the space and in the space of I know they are in a good place right now. You know what is going through their head because the energy they take from home in the morning, the energy your husband takes from home in the morning, the energy your children takes from home in the morning has a very, 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 very strong how do you say it? A very strong relationship with how their day is going to go and how it's going to affect your family lifestyle ongoing. So you figure out
Right.
everybody's schedule, come up with a plan. For instance, when I was a kid, I had parents that were working probably 8 to 5, both my dad and my mom. But we know that 6 p.m. is non-negotiable. You have to be in that sitting room with them. 6 a.m. in the
Right.
morning, everybody's in the city. 6 p.m. in the evening, everybody's in the city room. We are listening to TV, the radio. We are watching TV, and we're talking about our day. We are gisting with each other. That way, you get to catch up with them, give them advices. Right in the morning, that morning prayer is mandatory. Like they say, a family that prays together stays together.
Together.
right? So once you come up with this routine and your children gets used to this routine, even though that routine is going to change, you have to ease them into that change. And you have to, like parents, we have to also have to understand that we don't make decisions for ourselves anymore. A decision you make affects the entire family. So it is very important to figure out your schedule, come up with a family tradition slash routine, go out with your children, engage with them, interact with them on a personal level, right? And also make them understand that you are the model of what you want them to be, right? If
Right.
they see it as a parent, oh, how does mommy do it so effortlessly? She's always here, she's always listening to us. Do you know? So they would also imbibe that knowledge and make use of it while growing up. So it's not only about creating time for your family alone, it's also about passing down a legacy to that family.
Right. Thank you so much for that. I love every point you put out. So let's talk about budgeting. I mean, do you like have an underlying budget for expenses? And how would you advise women to engage in budgeting? I mean, at this, at this point, one needs budgeting.
Okay, for me, I think it's all about priorities, right? For me, what I do is to align my needs according to their importance. We need to understand that there's a difference between needs and wants, right? There are things that you just have to have them. They are your basic needs of survival, and then you have your wants, right? You need to prioritize those things and arrange them accordingly. Okay, this is the most important thing. Okay, for instance, obviously maybe you are a new mom. Obviously, baby food is not a want, it's a need, it's a priority for you. You have to
Right.
have milk in the house, you have to have all those things that the basic necessities for your children, right? All those things come first, right? And the next thing is to now understand the ones they are superior needs and their minor needs, right? Then you go down to your minor needs. What are things that I need but I can survive without? Then when you attend to those needs, then you can now indulge your guilty pleasure of your wants, right?
Right.
Maybe my guilty pleasure is every week I treat myself to a dinner. But with the surge of things and how expensive things are, I might not be able to afford to give myself a dinner every week. But because I still want to satisfy need, I might reduce it to maybe once a month,
Right.
right? It's a drastic change, but you need to quickly figure out how you fit into that change. What is my monthly income? How much? And savings is very, very, very important because at the end of the day, you still need to have a loose change behind the couch because something can happen. You have your health. At any time, you might have a medical emergency. You have to have something for that. So split
Right.
your needs in their account, in their order of importance. Attach what you want to attach to it. Okay, maybe according to my household now, feeding, I'm going to be spending 100,000 naira on feeding in this month. I'm going to be spending a 50,000 naira on traveling expenses, taking my children to school and fueling. I'm going to keep 50,000 naira for my hospital bills just in case it happens. God
Right.
forbid anything bad happens, right? And then maybe after sorting all those things out, then you cannot indulge in little guilty pleasures that would not break your bank. But at the same
Right.
time, it's very, very important to have savings. So prioritize order of importance, right? My income and my affordability. I think with
Right.
that, you just can't go wrong with that.
Right. Women catch the secret. I mean, you have it all there. Olaitan has given it all to you. Thank you for that. Um, yes. So, as we mark the 2024 Global Money Week, how can the female gender, be financially oriented by investing in the right spaces, such as the halal or non-interest funds? How can we encourage women to adopt this?
Okay, I think that is a very, very sensitive and nice topic to have brought up right now because I think nowadays we women need to step up, right, and step into the limelight and understand. Although there are several individuals right now that are opening the space, the finance space for people. You have mentors, you have ideas, you are open to classes. For instance, you can subject yourself to a training, even if it's a 1 hour a day training in Islamic finance, understand the kind of investment or investment options that you have that will not compromise your ethical standard. Like I said, you have to think about your income, how you're going to spend those money, your savings, and how those things are going to work for you. At the end of the day, you need to understand what fits you. And then look for a Sharia compliant fund manager and make sure, most importantly, make sure those fund managers are certified fund managers. There are people that cannot run away with your money and you end up going back to ground zero. That's very, very important. And the Sharia compliant part is also very important. What is their level of compliance? Who are on their board of directors? What kind of investment options do they have? How do I fit into those investment options? Because let me tell you, a lot of people jump into investments and they don't know much about it. They don't know much about the company. They just hear, oh, I heard about so and so, and if you put in 50,000, they're going to give you 100,000. You should know automatically that that is a Ponzi scheme or a crowdfunding scheme. You need to find out as much information you can about those people, find out their track record, find out how licensed they have. That is on the part of investors. And then you coming in as a woman, is either you are coming in as an investor or you are coming in as a potential Islamic finance expert. So whatever role you are playing in that situation, find out how you fit in. Not just how you fit in alone, find out how it fits you and how suitable it is for people. I think that gone are those times where the Islamic finance space or finance space entirely is a man-dominated area. You now have several women occupying important positions as CEOs, COOs, and they are inspirations. You can have those people as mentors to guide you on what steps to take, avoid their own mistake, and get a head start of a future where you can foresee yourself being. I usually tell myself, like, if you are in a space and you don't see yourself in a positive space, in 2 or 3 months, that space is not meant for you. So now that we are opening ourselves more into Islamic finance, be it takaful, be it investment funds, fundraising, Sharia compliant, halal certification, several areas in Islamic finance that you can fit yourself into. So I think my best advice for people is not just find the investment that suits you or a fund manager that suits you or a finance space that suits you. Find out how you fit in as well. And I'm sure that by the end of all those processes, you are going to be in perfect alignment with your goals.
Thank you so much, Olaitan, for that a very instinctive, very descriptive explanation. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Just like Olaitan Suleiman has said, you need to find that work-life balance. I mean, if this work doesn't work for you, if it doesn't favor you, and you think it doesn't give you that right balance, then probably it's not for you. And at the end of the day, you need to consider your needs and your wants. Well, with that, I say, don't forget to keep it to date with us next week on the program. Follow us on all our social media platforms displayed on the screen. Thank you for watching. I am Rahma Saeed Muhammad.